Welcome back to the She Suite Society, the podcast where we celebrate the real, the raw, and the remarkable journeys of women who chose to bet on themselves. I'm your host and empowerment Sherpa, Dahlia, and today I'm sitting down with someone who's been laid off twice and turned both moments into launch pads, not once, but twice. Heidi Tharp is a marketer, a storyteller, and now an entrepreneur, helping female founders and boutique brands find their voice. But her path here winds through refugee services, direct sales, express, Spanx, a double mastectomy, and a LinkedIn post that completely changed the trajectory of her career. This is a conversation about agency, about what happens when you stop waiting for life to happen to you and start deciding what happens next. And trust me, Heidi has some things to say about bucket lists that just might change how you see your week. Let's get into it. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, the metropolis of Ohio.
Why do you call it the metropolis of Ohio?
Because it's not true. My dad was a salesman, and so we traveled all over his territory, which was like Cincinnati, Columbus, Indianapolis, Kentucky, all the major players in the United States.
Yeah.
And it really stretched my bubble. And my dad was a people person. Literally, we'll talk to a wall and it will talk back. And I inherited that skill and just curiosity about people. And in college, I went to work for Disney. I did the Disney internship. I moved to Orlando, stretched my bubble in a way that I never could have imagined. And I was not coming back to Dayton. So I transferred, finished college at Ohio State, and I've been in Columbus ever since.
Oh, that's really fun. So you went to the internship and that made you want to come to Columbus.
Yeah. Oh, it made me want to go to a different city.
Yeah.
And obviously it's cheaper to go in state. I knew other people going to Ohio State. So I followed the path.
It's a great school. I went there. That's awesome. So when did you do your internship?
A long time ago. I cannot reveal that because it will reveal my age.
No, it's great. There's no problem. I meant more, did you do it in college or did you do it right out of high school?
It was in college. Disney recruits from some universities, but a lot of community college, which is, I think, perfect because community colleges often, you're sort of stepping out on your own for the first time, or you're looking for something like an economical way to get an education. And the program was perfect to help me step into bigger things. And Ohio State is massive. So that was really great to be able to have a stepping stone in between. So it wasn't such a major shock.
Got it. Okay. I was like, that adds up. And that's really cool.
Because you're not special at Ohio State.
Yes. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were being funny.
Yeah, literally, it's so big that you can get lost. And so it's really good to have some other experience, I think, before you go to Ohio State, just so that you're prepared for that.
I would agree with that. Are you an only child?
I have an older sister.
I think you're the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
How old is your older, or how was the age difference?
18 months.
Okay, so are you guys close?
We are. And I think, I always followed in her shadow growing up and wanted to be her. And I was painfully shy, which no one would guess nowadays.
No.
And when she did the Disney internship too, she went to Sinclair too. So I followed her path. And then I kind of came into my own once I went to Ohio State, and then my path took a different turn.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was getting married that I really came to need her help, because weddings are scary. They're big. It's a lot of pressure. And she had been through it before. So it was really great for her to be able to guide me and sort of mentor me through that experience. And then we became really close. And thank God for Marco Polo, because we talk all the time.
What's Marco Polo?
Oh, it's an app that allows you to send video messages. I have different Marco Polos, like with groups of friends and my sister. And it's better than like texting, and calling isn't as easy. So you can listen to it at your convenience.
Oh, that's really brilliant. Yeah. How cool is that? Now you just shared an app with everybody.
It's great.
So is she an extrovert?
I would say she is more of an introvert.
When you say you followed her path and you were more like, did you say in her shadow or you were the shadow?
I was in her, I was her shadow. I pretty much, anywhere she went, I went.
Got it. You just, I know you now where I'm getting to know you now and I can't vision it. And so I'm having a hard time envisioning this. So I'm like, maybe she was just a very loud person, but that wasn't the case either. So you both just sort of kind of flourished in your own times.
Yeah. I mean, she looked like Jennifer Love Hewitt, so all the boys liked her. I was, you know, not so gorgeous.
Oh, stop it.
And just I don't know. She was a runner. She ran cross country and track, and she had all these friends. Although she wasn't, I mean, super social. Like I think of others today, but she had the really great group of friends. And
Did you?
I have always been a bit of, I don't want to say, I've always considered myself an underdog. I've been a bit of an outsider, lots of different groups of friends.
Right.
Do
you have a core group of friends?
I have multiple core groups of friends.
I vibe with that very hard because I also have multiple core groups of friends where it's hard to, you just don't, do you have a best friend?
Multiple best friends.
Multiple, like, do they talk to each other?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But not everyone. I have all these different circles. And as I'm getting older, I'm seeing more opportunities for all those people to connect. I recently wrote a LinkedIn article about how I'm a friend connector, not a follower collector. And I've kind of like lived my life like that now. And it used to be things were very separate, compartmentalized. And now it's like, how can we all support each other? How can everyone connect one another? And I think there's magic that happens.
There is magic that happens. I have so many questions about that though, because the way our society is built, people tend to feel like they need to get something from somebody. And it's really hard because I don't love that. I think that it should be more of a reciprocal interaction where it's just you're being human together, not I need something from you or you need something from me. Can't it just exist like that? Do you find that ever to get in the way when you're yeah, I feel like you have a story with that.
Oh my God, this is so wild. So God, I have so many stories I could tell, but my first layoff, I had a coach who supported me through that. She didn't know all the challenges I was going through. And her name's Jessica. One of the things that she taught me was this term get energy. And I didn't know what that was, but it's that gross ick feeling.
It's so icky.
Ick.
Yeah.
And we just talked about this, how somebody who was in her network and mine reached out to me with Get Energy, trying to get me to pay to be part of something that was like a philanthropic give back. And it was all about connecting with other powerful people, but I saw no value. I can volunteer on my own. I don't need to pay to volunteer to be part of your thing. And I just felt this ick, and it was that get energy. So I love having a term for it.
I do too. Thank you for sharing that term.
Yeah.
Get energy.
Get energy.
What do you do with it?
Avoid it. Run. Get away.
What if you don't recognize it initially, but they're in your circle now?
You will feel it. You may not know what it is, but it's a feeling. It makes you feel like there's just something you can't put your finger on. I tend to gravitate towards people who are humble, who are curious. Get energy.
Genuinely curious.
Genuine. I think that Get Energy is the complete opposite. It's very much all about them. And I just have I just don't need that.
No, I don't either. So I very much thank you for sharing that. So let's go back to OSU. So you go to OSU, you complete there. What did you get your degree in?
International Studies with a French minor.
First of all, I love that. Do you still speak French?
I do, which is so wild when you never know how your journey is going to like take you.
No.
I studied in Lyon, France in college. It was cheaper and faster for me to do a study abroad. So I was there for a few months. I was an hour from Switzerland. On the weekends, I would go to Paris or Nice, Monaco, Italy. I would go to Switzerland for the day to go shopping for chocolate because it was a quick train ride away. It was so magical. And I did it on the cheap. I mean, I was a waitress and I literally saved every penny. Did that, was able to finish school a little bit early because of doing it that way versus having to do the semesters. And then that led to, I guess at my community college, I had done a trip. It was like 2 weeks, and we went all around the Loire Valley, and that really was exciting to experience 2 weeks throughout Paris and everything.
Yeah.
And then I did the study abroad, and then my husband took me to Paris and proposed at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
No way.
And I got to be his guide, because I was conversational. And so he doesn't speak any French. So it was really fun getting to show him all around. And then what's wild is a friend like 2 years ago reached out to me. She earned an incentive trip. Her husband couldn't go, and she took me to Paris. And she didn't even know that I had a passport, that I spoke the language.
Oh my gosh.
So it was so much fun. We went to Strasbourg. We went to West Germany for a day. I got to mark off something big on my bucket list, which is a whole nother
Yeah, we're going to get to
thing.
that. We're going to get to the lists in general,
Yeah.
and then that.
And then what's wild, my most recent full-time position was with a huge brand. And I was a storyteller on their associate experience and engagement team. And I had to send copy to get translated to French. And what was cool is I could read it enough to know, like, oh no, this is off, or ooh, I could switch these words and not have to send it to translation again. So it's wild how everything kind of comes around.
Right. How the experiences you get in your life tie in together, but you don't know when, you don't know how, and it just happens.
Yes.
Because you're living your life. So you graduate, you go where? Where do you go after you graduate?
I had a internship with the state of Ohio, the Ohio Refugee Services Program. And I worked with the Ohio Refugee and Immigrant Advisory Council. It's a mouthful. And so that was like a contract position. And at night I worked for Highlights for Children magazine.
I love that.
Obviously, like, I was at Disney and then going to Highlights. And then that ended up turning into a new career path for me.
Ooh, what was that?
Marketing. I was there for a few years. I was in a variety of different roles across the country, but marketing is where I really found my fit.
Did you?
That's
quite a shift. What made you enjoy marketing?
It's creative, right? What's the hook? Like, what are the little things that are going to be the action devices that get somebody to do something, right? Whether it's a mail piece or a phone call or, email. It also was the start of, I think, writing, professionally, which is something that I've always loved, is to write and express myself. And so that was really a fun challenge.
Is that what you used for you? Because you're really good at your LinkedIn posts.
I love storytelling. I'm a storyteller, but I wasn't always.
Right. When did that come into play?
That came into, so after Highlights, I had quite a journey. I was recruited into the retail industry. I was in direct sales for quite a few years, which I loved because it was all about empowering women. I did a ton of different things, from leadership development, training, onboarding, events, speaker pitches, like the whole gamut.
That is the whole gamut.
It was wild. Big brand, tiny team. We did everything.
You had to.
Yeah. And then I was recruited into the retail industry for fashion. I worked at Express headquarters. I was one of 3 people. We built an entire incredible creator program for social media creators and built it up to 5,000 members. And everything that I had done in the direct sales industry, I took that knowledge and our team applied. So incentive trips and mentoring programs and all kinds of really cool things that the creator world had never seen before, but was very common in the direct sales world. So then that took me on this whole other path. I went to Spanx and was part of building their program, recruiting and onboarding their first 1,000. And then that led me to the last company that I was with, which was Storyteller. And I led an advocacy program for associates because our goal was to help people love working there. So very fun.
Did you ever have anything like imposter syndrome?
Oh God, yes. Yeah.
Because to do the things that you're doing, you're in that like leadership role. You shouldn't have it. You shouldn't have the imposter syndrome, but I find women in that type of field, myself included, chronically have imposter syndrome. How do you navigate that?
Well, I have always felt not enough. I mean, it started as a kid. right? My sister was the runner. She was,
okay.
my parents bought her car for her. I had to buy it from her
No.
for $1,500. And I did it. I had worked for 5 years. I babysat every weekend, Friday and Saturday, for the same little kid, and who became a prima ballerina in Philadelphia.
No
Yes.
way.
So cool, right? But just that diligence, self-reliance, it taught me skills, money management. And so I knew I had like a certain level of just agency over my life. But when I got into these big brands and you see all these big names, and it's intimidating. And also just the way some people carry themselves, I always felt not enough. And it really wasn't until my first layoff, Express was, they went through 4 rounds of layoffs. I was in the last round and it was bankruptcy. So it was, you can imagine, like, you're laid off. The top leaders get a big fat paycheck, but nobody else gets a dime. And so that was very terrifying. I had just put in my paperwork to take 2 weeks, well, to take some time off. I had to have a double mastectomy. It was preventative. At the time, I just knew things were not right.
Did you
They
take the
didn't.
test, the BRCA gene test?
I don't have BRCA, but they had to do a bunch of biopsies.
Got
I
it.
had already had a lumpectomy, and that's like a whole nother journey.
Yeah.
And so it was terrifying. I was like most people throughout my career. LinkedIn was where I sort of parked my resume and, casually connected with people, but it wasn't a real platform I leveraged. Well, that layoff flipped everything for me. I went from, having a great thriving career, making incredible money, to not a dime coming in, wondering, do I actually have cancer? I have to go through this surgery. I'm spending thousands of dollars for Cobra, which is wild. And so the first couple of months of my job search, it was quiet. And I was trying to do it, to save face, and I was embarrassed. And even though I was part of thousands of people laid off, and then I just decided, you know what, I've got to get loud. I did a big reveal post, and that completely changed my whole trajectory of my professional life.
But I bet that was terrifying.
It was, but I knew no one's saving me. No one's coming offering me jobs. I've applied to 30 jobs and I couldn't get an interview. And so that changed everything, because then people started reaching out to me. I got connections. That's what led to someone saw my post who's in England, who I met once, saw my post, connected me with Spanx. I interviewed and then landed that contract gig.
Wow.
I mean, no one knew what I was going through health-wise. Even my coach, Jessica, I mentioned, I didn't tell anyone, because I wanted to compartmentalize and I wanted to go all in on the job search. And then I knew at some point, okay, this surgery was coming, and I'm going to take a couple of weeks off to focus on my health and sit that aside. Luckily, everything was in motion, the conversations, all the things that actually make a difference to help you find a job. And I even interviewed with Spanx 5 days after my double mastectomy. I was so drugged up.
Oh my God.
But landed that gig, went into, recovery, all of the things where, they have to do reconstruction. And so it's like weeks and weeks of all the things. And then with my last employer, I negotiated that job from my hospital bed. They didn't know, like, it was beeping and I was like, oh, sorry. And landed that and signed the paperwork from my hospital bed as I was recovering after reconstruction. And so it was just wild.
When you sit with that right now, like, how does that make you feel?
Really proud of everything that I went through and to be able to be so positive about it. So when I say,
You are very positive about it. And it's kind of a gift that you're able to compartmentalize so hard like that. Some people can't do that. They can't separate that. It just becomes overwhelming. How did you not let that happen?
well, I think number one, I'm naturally a really positive person. If you've ever done StrengthsFinder, positivity is like in my top 3.
Okay.
So I was just born like this.
Yes.
But I've also really trained my brain. I got really into personal development. I was a side hustler in direct sales. And one of the things that is really big in direct sales is minding your mind, personal development. And that was such a gift because I've gone to all the conferences. I listened to the tapes, right? I've listened to the podcasts. Even through that health situation and my job search, I had some practices that made a big difference. Like I wrote in a journal every morning. I wrote 10 things I'm thankful for, 10 positive affirmations, a couple which were the universe has my back. All things work out in my favor, right? Like I think just I was training my brain and I did that for years. So now if I'm feeling a little down, I'll return to that
Go back to
practice.
that. Okay.
But I think it just has made all the difference. I'm also somebody who's always looking for the good. Where's the opportunity?
The silver linings.
Absolutely.
When did you start making lists?
Oh my God. My first list was when I went to Disney. I did a bucket list of 10 things I wanted to do.
Your first list was a bucket list.
My first list was at age 20.
At age 20.
I have no idea where I came up
For
with
no
that.
reason other than
Literally.
just want it.
I think I was somebody who always felt like there's more for me.
Yeah.
And this is not all there is. I love that saying, you've come too far to only come this far.
Right.
And so when I went to Disney, it was a huge culture shock from Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
So I made a list of 10 things that I wanted to do while I was there. One was skydiving, bungee jumping, take a cruise. I did all those things. I don't recommend taking a $150 cruise. That is not good.
There's a lot of documentaries out right now about the horror of cruises.
Yeah.
One's poop cruise, the other one's the COVID cruise. I've watched both.
Thank God I didn't, and it did not exist at the time. But it really started this love affair for bucket lists. And so I've kept one throughout my life. And sometimes I lose them and I have to start over. I love a good list. That's actually a really great unlock if you're feeling stuck, depressed, don't know what's next. You can easily Google, go to Pinterest, ask Chatty, right? Like any AI program, like what are some example ideas of things for a bucket list? And you can do different things. Like I've had some that are financial, some that are travel, some that are like impact related. And you don't have to have money to accomplish any of those. Sometimes it's just learning a new skill. Like one of my big things, and it was right after COVID, was I really wanted to try acupuncture and cupping, which literally is a dream. It's much better than a massage. I wanted to do a sound bath. There's so many different things. And I think it just makes life a little more exciting because we get into ruts. And I think one of the biggest challenges we have is fighting inertia, right? Especially as an employee, or in a relationship, a long relationship. I've been with my husband for years, like since we were in college.
How did you meet?
We met in the restaurant industry. He would pace me around while we were waiting tables, and he was a bartender. And when I go to get my drinks, I couldn't figure out why my drinks were the last to be made. It was because he always wanted to talk to me.
Oh,
he would always switch.
Sweet.
I know he would always switch seconds so he could be next to me, and we would have one conversation that lasted hours because we would like keep it going as we were, ringing in our meals and delivering food. We would just keep the conversation going. Yeah. So work was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got really excited about that. I was like, you've been together for years. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You were saying sometimes people get in ruts and sometimes they're in long relationships that can just get stale. Is that what you mean?
In friendships, you're like really anything, your health, like every area of your life. I think people have to fight inertia because that's just like, it's the things, whatever habit you've created, that's in motion.
What happens though when you're somebody that like you do a lot of work on yourself and you're constantly, I'm going to call it healing because healing never ends. You're just always healing and always growing. Sometimes other people that are in your life or have been there for a while or even in jobs don't grow with you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that can be the fight of inertia. Are you one of those that is like, it's okay to cut those off and keep going? Or do you try to bring people along? What's your take on that exactly?
That's a great question. I think I've seen that. I've worked with a lot of women entrepreneurs, especially in the direct sales industry. And most often I saw that with their relationship with their partner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think also I've experienced it personally at work where you just kind of feel like this itch or I just a rub, a friction, just like I'm capable of more. I want more. This is not satisfying. Maybe you even get the Sunday scaries. And once you leave and move on, which that's what I think you have to do is you grow. You can't stay contained. You have to grow and explore. And you can encourage people to come along with you, but you are probably wasting your breath. They will follow what you do, not what you tell them to do. So you'll inspire them. So when I've moved on from roles professionally, what I realized is it almost felt like graduating from middle school to high school to college, college to the real world.
That's a great analogy.
And then even when I've gone back, I'm like, "Oh, I'm just not the same person. I have a totally different way of a different perspective, a different way of interacting with people, carrying myself. It's know better, do better. You just can't go back.
Yeah.
It's the box is open. You can't let anyone, and you can't put yourself back in the box.
No, you can't. And you find that after some time has passed, especially for those of us that are a little bit older, and you meet people that haven't seen you in years, and they only remember the last version of you that existed back then. Sometimes it can be a mind F. Like to have those conversations. Have you interacted with anybody like that?
Oh God. I think that happens all the time, especially with family.
Oh yeah, that's a
Right?
really good point.
When you go back for holidays and it's like you kind of get into those old patterns, like everybody had their role. So my husband's one of 5 kids, so they all have their different role. And so
Or had. Do they still have those same roles?
no, I mean,
Okay.
they're so different. Like his brother was kind of lost in life and now he is in the Navy. He graduated top 1 or 2 in his class. He is stationed in Hawaii. He's a doctor on submarines. No one could have imagined that he would be the person he is today. I'm so just inspired by him. But if you would have met him 20 years ago, he was not sure what he wanted. He was a little lost, right? I think everybody evolves and you just can't worry what people think.
No, you can't.
And back to your question about, is it okay to leave those people behind? It's okay to take a pause. It's okay to let them catch up with you. It's okay to put distance between you. I've been really lucky, and this is what I say one of the most important decisions of your life is who you choose to spend your time with as a partner. I've been really lucky that my partner is super motivated, if not more motivated than me.
Is that possible?
It is. He runs, he has multiple businesses. He is a published author. He's real estate's license, is practicing. He has his insurance license. He's a certified market technician. He's coached 5,000 students how to trade in the stock market. Like I could go on and on with the list. He's YouTube certified in many homeowner things. So if he doesn't know what to do, he can just check out YouTube and he'll figure it out. Yeah. So I think.
So you married a partner that matches your energy.
Yes. And I think I always saw that in him. And that's why I was so attracted to him. And why we've just been such a great fit is because we're always supporting each other. I just can't imagine not having someone like that in my life.
So what would you say to people that didn't have somebody like that in their life, that did the complete opposite?
Their journey is their journey. And you have to, at the end of the day, you're responsible for yourself. You may cut them loose. Unfortunately, your paths may not be aligned. I think that's harder done than said. I see some of my friends who are going through that challenge, and it gets more complicated with kids and medical issues and things like that. But I do feel like ultimately your life is your responsibility and you get to choose how you live.
Right. Yeah, exactly. What do you do now?
Well, thank you for asking. So I told you I was laid off the first time in 2024 during that health scare. So I was part of a recent layoff from a household brand. Um, and I laugh because it's like everybody says, "Oh my God, are you okay?" It has been the most exciting time in my life. My last day was February 14th. I had my first client February 15th to do my own thing. I've built up an incredible community of people who've just come out of the woodwork and said, I would love to partner with you. I love what you're doing. And we've been able to find ways to help each other. So I've been working with multiple female founders with boutique brands. My whole career is spent building iconic brands. Now I'm really focusing on these boutique brands, and have started my own thing. So I have a client that I'm building their business, helping them better tell their story through LinkedIn. And I love the platform because it changed my life. I could go on and on about the positive impact. I'm working with a brand to help them onboard new brand partners so that they can get up to speed and have success quickly. So that's really exciting, which also will partner with some of the LinkedIn work I'm doing, some social media stuff, because I've spent my career building those creator programs, and that those skill sets apply to everyone. You can learn something from creators to help you. And I'm working with, I've got a pipeline of people. It's a lot of like LinkedIn. I'm working with another partner on journey mapping, really helping them build out their customer journey for a new business.
Nice. Yeah.
So that they create consistency in their experience and also so they can scale.
Yeah.
And so that's really looking at all their touch points of like, what does that look like? How does clienteling look and feel? How do you heart tug and really connect with clients so they refer other people to you and come back to you again and again and want to talk about you to others? So it's a lot of marketing stuff, and a lot of stuff in the LinkedIn space.
You seem to love it.
Oh my God, I love it. And this is such an exciting time because I always, to be honest, was envious of my husband as an entrepreneur. I'm like, God, if only I had those skill sets. He was always telling me, you can do it. Anyone can be an entrepreneur if you're self-motivated. I've always been somebody who you don't have to ask me twice for something. My goal is to exceed expectations, deliver ahead of schedule. And through that journey, I'm always looking for what I can learn. How can I squeeze the most out of that experience?
Right.
How can I leave things better than I found them?
Yeah.
And I have such a passion for the work that I'm doing and helping people reach their full potential, helping brands, businesses reach their full potential to unlock all those things that are going to make a difference for them. And it's just such an exciting time because I never thought I would be where I'm at. And I have all these fairy godmothers who literally dropped into my life at exactly the right time. And it's been wild.
You said part of what you think attracted you to him is because you always saw that in him. Don't you think the same is in reverse?
Yeah.
He always saw that in you too. If you had to redo it all over again, would you do anything different? Or do you enjoy the experiences you've had? And that's a kind of a leading question. Or do you regret any experiences you had?
I mean, I regret mostly things I didn't do because I was scared, worried what people would think of me, thought I wasn't enough. Now I realize that the only difference between me and maybe somebody who wants to be doing what I'm doing or something else is I've taken action. I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. So I knew instinctively this second layoff felt different, right? I knew it was coming, which I was ignorant. I didn't know that stuff before. Now I know. I've been around.
Did you say you're going to put something together to help people understand what the signs are?
I'm going to. Well, so I saw the signs to the point where So I launched my own podcast.
That's right.
Yeah. So we can talk about that, but I saw the signs. And so when I was driving in to have the conversation, which I knew was them laying me off, I was listening to a podcast about being laid off. So I could mentally prepare for what was about to happen because I knew it was happening.
Yeah.
And I knew it was not just me. And when I walked into the office and there's all these water bottles lined up, I'm like, well, they wouldn't do that just for me. And it was across the organization. And I thought it was going to happen sooner, to be honest. It happened months later, but I could just feel it. I just knew. And so that day I went home, I was a little bummed. And then the next day I woke up so excited because I knew I've got a story to share. I know what to do. I've been here before. And anytime you do something for the second time, it's easier. Like having my second kid was easier. Like anything I've ever done, the second time around is easier because you have a map.
You have that experience. Yeah, you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah. So that second time around, I hit the ground running, literally created my post, my big, I'm going to call it a launch post that I'm, looking for a job, sharing my story. It took me 5 hours to respond to all of the comments, which is one of the best things I did because that still has traction. People are still texting me and DMing me today to say, hey, I saw your post. I want to introduce you to somebody. That was a huge launch, for this new chapter, which led to people introducing me to people, just friendly conversations, being curious, which has opened the door to do project work and for a company to create a role for me to do some fractional work with them. So you just never know where things might land.
You don't. And you're very open. I love that you had that plan coming up. And I can't wait for people to hear your podcast so they can learn how to overcome these things pretty quickly or how to see the positive. I think it's a nice thing that you are by nature just a positive person, especially in this day and age and in this climate. And I don't even want to say right now, it's been this way since the beginning of the pandemic. It hasn't really let up. Just pick your poison as to what horrible thing is happening in the world now and follow it. It's, I think, a lot harder, and it takes a lot more strength to see the silver lining and to be positive and to then bring that into the world. So for me to you, thank you for continuing to bring that positivity and light into the world. That's part of what this podcast is for, is to help people see the better parts, and that you can just choose your reality because your life is your story to tell.
Well, you even asked about it earlier with imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And I had been listening to podcasts for, probably 5 years. And I have a huge list. My recommendations, I will pin as a featured post on LinkedIn because I just am so passionate about it. But I always felt like, oh, well, I don't have what it takes to do that. They have some of the magical skill, the right connections. And honestly, a fairy godmother came into my life. I had lunch with her. Then I was like, we had a chat. I met her through LinkedIn, had a chat. I was like, when can I see you next? We had lunch the next day, and I just have been in her shadow ever since, wanting to learn everything I can from her. She's in the podcast industry, and I took her course, and it gave me a great head start. So my podcast is a micro podcast. So no episode is longer than 5 minutes. Most are 2 to 3 minutes. I think most of the time, if you can just take and apply one little bite, one little thing, it can change everything. And my sister is one of my loyal listeners. And it's so funny because she has access to all these questions. She just didn't know what to ask. So as I'm telling these stories, and it's like I'm talking to a friend, I know that it's helping family, it's helping friends. And my goal was just to share what's worked for me. Yeah. I'm not an expert job hunter. I just know my results have been incredible. And I always thought, oh, well, you need to have a huge following, tens of thousands of followers. I only have 3,000 followers, which has taken time to get to this point. That's not an easy feat, but I don't have a lot. I know other people who have 10,000 or 7,000.
3,000 is a pretty healthy number.
But it's really about engagement. Do people comment? Yeah. Like, are you building a relationship? There's so much more to it than just a follower count.
Absolutely.
And what I realized, and I learned this from others who've gone before me, is you don't have, there's always going to be somebody who knows more, who has a bigger more connections, who, etc. all you need to be is a few steps ahead of someone else. So the content I'm creating is really going to help somebody who is a few steps behind me. So I will talk about like that post, what to do, how do I follow up, what are the things that have made the biggest difference. I know that there are a lot of great career coaches out there, but some are experts in interviewing, some are resume experts. So I'm talking a little bit about everything. And it's just the stuff that has made the biggest difference for me, what's working and what didn't
Oh, I
work.
love that. Pay it forward. So in true fashion for us, I end every episode the same. And it is, what piece of advice could you give, even though the whole episode's advice, what piece of advice could you give to somebody listening today that you feel that they need to hear? Aside from listening to your podcast, which they should.
It's called Layoff, the Diary of a Job Hunter. How appropriate.
That's great.
And now I'm like, oh gosh, that doesn't even capture, because now I'm more I should be the Diary of an Entrepreneur, but I'll get there. I have so many tips. I want to get those out there. I would say the number one thing that has really helped me pivot my mindset, my trajectory professionally, is recognition that I have agency over my life, that there are a lot of things that are going to happen to me. There are a lot of things that are going to happen for me. And I can only control the mindset, how I look at things, and then the action I take. So I think it's really important to lean into the stuff that you can control. For me, that is conversations, genuine connections, following through with what I say I'm going to do.
Big one.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do that. And just making a positive impact, leaving things better than I found them. Because I do think, my friend Tiffany and I were having a conversation this morning, how a lot of us, like my kids, I see as girls, you just believe anything is possible. And then at some point you get beat down, put in a box, you believe you're only, there's no more, sky's the limit. You're measuring yourself by other people. And at some point you have to decide you're no longer going to be in that box. And I think that's where the agency piece, and like working on your mindset and taking action, that is going to build your confidence and your belief in yourself. And then those results create your reality.
Couldn't agree more. Is there a story that you wanted to share with us just for funsies?
Oh my gosh.
Just seriously, just for fun. You have so many.
Okay, my
biggest, lived like 8 million lives. I love it.
I have. Oh my gosh. You just never know who might come into your life.
No, you don't.
And I do think that if you every day can think about, like, what are the things you're most excited for in that day? What are you excited for that week, that month? I think you look at life a little bit different. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage everyone to create that bucket list. Start with just 10 things. 10 things. Okay. And you can break it up. Like, maybe your things are relationship oriented, or maybe it's confidence building. Maybe it's just you love that. Breaking it up is good.
Yeah. Because everybody thinks a bucket list means you have to do skydiving, or which I did, and I know you did too. Or you swim with sharks, or some like crazy things, or eat bugs that's covered in chocolate, whatever it is. People think that has to be a bucket list, but you never think of it in terms of go on a date, or block some me time off, or meditate. Like, you can have, it doesn't need to be huge, monumentous things. They might be small things that are monumentous to you. So I love that you break that up. What are the categories again?
I'm making these.
I know, but I love them. What do you think some good examples of these categories would be, and how many would you put in each? Or do you think, would you recommend?
I think it really depends what resonates with you. Like, what just feels like an inclination that, that sounds cool.
Sounds good.
I think you might consider something is like health related, something maybe for like your mental or physical health. I would say something that's adventurous, maybe something that is like for your relationship. I would also say something that would scare you.
Yeah.
Right.
Who said this? I don't remember the quote because I'm terrible with quotes, but it's something like, you should do something every day that scares you. Who said that?
I don't know, but I have the book.
You have the book. Okay.
There's a book.
Is a book? Okay.
Yeah. And it has literally ideas. And I picked it up and put it down. It's literally my stack of books. I have so many books, so many great reads.
Yeah.
I love just this idea of learning from other people. Yeah. So hopefully someone takes on that bucket list challenge. It literally can change your life. I mean, one of the things that my friends and I did, we do theme nights, and I'm the one who keeps the list and brainstorms probably and shares the ideas the most. Next up is we're mob. We're like mob, the aesthetic, and we're bowling. We've done like jeans night. We did like 70s night. We've done all kinds of things, and dress up is the most fun. But like novelty, I think your list should include something that's novelty, because your life is what you create of it. Sure. Right? You create it to be, and your identity has to be so much more than just your career. You build your identity. You create the person that you want to be.
Heidi, thank you. Honestly, this conversation gave me so much to think about, and I know our listeners feel the same way. If Heidi's story resonated with you, and I really hope it did, reach out to her. Her contact information is in the show notes. Whether you're a founder trying to find your voice, or you're just someone who needed to hear today's message, don't let that connection sit on the table. And here's your homework from this episode. Write down 10 things for your bucket list, not someday, this week. Heidi gave you full permission, and so do I. If you loved this episode, share it. Send it to a friend who's feeling stuck, who's navigating a transition, or just needs a reminder that they have more agency over their life than they think. Leave us a review, spread the word. This community is built one share at a time, and I'm so grateful you're a part of it. Remember, your life is your story to tell. Own it. Until next time, I'm Delia, your host. Thanks for being here.